So the New York Giants certainly have a way of keeping things interesting, don't they? Just what, 3 days into training camp and the Giants have hit a patch of turbulence. I guess that's the best way to put it. Specifically regarding their wide receiving corps. Let's talk all about it. I'm Matt Levine. Thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Hit like for the video. I want to thank Anthony Scatamonte of Staten Island, New York, at 954sports.com. He made a comment. Your comments and questions are welcome. 954sports.com. He commented and said, Matt, I'm a Jets fan, but I enjoy your reports on the Giants and the other New York sports teams. Keep it up, dude. Good work. So thank you very much. Let's move on and talk about these Giants wide receivers. They're bruised, they're battered. And today's headline, Golden Tate, a consummate professional and a steady Eddie, to say the least, expected to pick up major slack left by Odell Beckham Jr. And by the way, I'll get this out of the way. The curse of OBJ, I don't buy it. Let's talk about the receivers here. Tate tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. The NFL suspends him for the first 4 games of the season. A big blow to Big Blue. However, Tate says he's going to fight back, appeal the suspension, says the drug in question he tested positive for was part of a prescribed fertility medicine legally prescribed by a medical doctor. We'll see how this shakes out. Sterling Shepard, the good news is his injury isn't as severe as initially thought it could be with a fractured thumb, the tip of the thumb. The word is he'll be out at least a couple to 3 weeks. He's dealt with injuries similar to this in his career. So hopefully he knows how to nurse himself back, take things slow, and get ready for the season opener, because we are going to rely on the 25-year-old Shepard mightily this season. He's one of those guys, a gamer. Really love having him on the field for Eli and company. Signed the big $40 million plus extension in the offseason. Now the Giants get a big blow with Corey Coleman, a guy that I was intrigued by. Former first-round pick by the Browns, bounced around to the New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills, found his home with the Giants last year. In an awful season for the Giants, he was somewhat of a bright light. Very, very well he performed on special teams, expected to contribute in that capacity as a punt, kickoff returner. Also a chance to make it as the third-string wide receiver, not meant to be, as he blew his ACL. So he's out for the season. A couple of guys further down on the depth chart that the Giants were intrigued by. Also out, Alex Wesley on the PUP list, gone for the season. Britton Golden, a legit chance to make the roster. Groin injury. He's out indefinitely. So, all of a sudden you've got guys like Corey Latimer, Benny Fowler, Russell Shepard, moving from, I'd say, the middle of the bus to the front, from the middle of the roster's depth chart to the top. They are going to be relied on heavily. Giants also making some moves today. TJ Jones, a Detroit Lions cast-off, now a New York Giant, clipped off the waiver wire. This name familiar, had a good training camp with the Giants last year. I believe he was there the year before as well. Former Syracuse star Amba Etta Tawo. He's back with Big Blue. Now, this is definitely a shakeup for the Giants with the injuries in the wide receiving unit. There's no doubt about that. One thing I think the Giants will do, we'll see more of, and I'm expecting a huge year from Evan Ingram, is that the hybrid tight end, sort of tight end, I think he'll see more looks as a wide receiver, and I think he'll certainly supplement that role of a third wide receiver, even though he's a tight end. And you hope, again, he can stay healthy. I also think, in a sense, maybe it's a blessing in disguise with Shepard. You know he's going to come back. He'll be fine. I'm not that worried for week 1, but you want him to be healthy in training camp and getting his reps and keeping in tune with Eli and the offense. But it will give other guys a chance to rise up. Now, the Golden Tate thing, we'll see how that shakes out. It seems like he is a legitimate beef here with the NFL. Maybe a chance to reverse the suspension. Rarely happens in the National Football League. But I do want to leave you with something. It's that old next man up expression you get in the National Football League. But take a look at this. Here's what Sterling Shepard had to say. We will be fine. Now, I know you can read, but I always like reading out loud. I really do. So let me read it to you. We will be fine. Like I said, we have guys that will step up. This is the NFL. Everyone can play. They'll have an opportunity to showcase their abilities. So while, again, the Giants keep it interesting, and I am worried about their number one and number two, not there right now, so early into camp, and the other injuries and the other unknowns. However, I haven't quite yet gone to DEFCON 5. I'm not there just yet. Let's see how this shakes out during training camp and see what's the next big story that grabs the headlines with the always interesting New York Football Giants.